it's starting. Hey everyone, I am here. I did not realize it was starting. How is everyone doing? I hope you guys can hear me. I'm Nini FC from Blue Lines TV and welcome to another Q&A live stream. I hope all you guys are doing good. Good to see everyone. Of course, an amazing game we just witnessed. Japan versus Belgium. Honestly, one of them games where neither team really deserves to lose. Japan were phenomenal. I mean, they play such good football. I mean, you can see the technique. You can always see the intelligence behind their play. The players are very comfortable too. I kind of feel with nations like Japan, they need to have at least maybe one or two or even three, like top class players. I think their goalkeeper isn't good enough. He's been there for too long. I don't know. I feel they need just one or two fantasy players to really help take that team to another level. But I mean, they're definitely getting there. They're definitely getting closer. The Japanese league is on the rise as well. And I mean, fantastic performance, really fantastic. But you guys, that's enough about my opinions. I'm here to answer your questions that you might have. You guys, you know what the deal is. If you want your question prioritized, remember to use the super chat function, of course. That way, I can see your questions and I can obviously just I can just do things better. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm going to start answering some of your questions right now. Everything is loading up. Give me 1 second, you guys. It's moving kind of slow still. Okay, hurry up. You guys, any second. And yeah, okay, everything is here. Good. Answering some questions. Okay, Ishan Shah, where will Conte go after Chelsea? God knows. I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care. Okay, Tiggs, what are you saying, Tiggs? You good? Joseph 25, the quality of the Belgian squad saved Martinez 100%. Mohamed Imran, there is no way Moses can be first choice for Chelsea. He's not good. He's good, but not Chelsea standard. We need someone who's top level. We need a world-class player. All right, Mohamed, what world-class right-backs or right wing-backs are there out there? I mean, if you've got a suggestion, let me know in the comment section. Got the first super chat. Thank you, Andy Flanagan. And your question is, Golovin or Sarri or both? Now, this is the thing I don't know right now at this moment in time. Is this Golovin interest ending interest with Sarri? I'm not too sure right now, you guys. This stuff's always changing every single time. I mean, you guys already understand that. I'm going to try to find out what's going to happen. I don't know. I kind of feel that if you are going to go for two players, that means you do need to sell some of the midfield players we already have. Now, with Fabregas, the reality is that it's hard because he's on very high wages, on nearly 200k a week. And it's just like, well, why would Cesc going to leave? I mean, he's close to retiring. That type of money you're making, you'll never earn again. And it's just like, your career is only going to be around for a few more years before you go. So I can't imagine him leaving. Unless maybe something happens randomly. Maybe he's like, no, I do want to play football. We just signed Bakayoko. I think the club will give him another chance. Drinkwater looks like the favourite to go right now. But then that would mean that another player would have to go. Now, of course, there's talks of Ruben going on loan. I ultimately feel that Sarri will have the final say on Ruben. As I've told you guys, he has said a lot of positive things to say about Ruben. And I think maybe if Sarri's like, well, no, I don't want Ruben to go on loan, maybe that might mean that's... But at the same time, you need a Sarri midfield player for the team. Golovin isn't a Sarri. Golovin links the midfield and attack. He doesn't dictate the play. Sarri dictates the play. He's like that Jorginho type of player. Golovin isn't. So this is why I feel that we can be signing both, because they're the type of players that we would need. And I think that I like to see both come, because if I see both come, it tells me that there's going to be a lot of changes in midfield, which I think we need. I think there's some midfield players we have now that aren't really that good, and I don't think we need to waste any more time with them, to be honest. I'm not going to lie, you guys, Golovin or Bakayoko, for me, what I'm seeing of Golovin this tournament, and I've seen one CSKA Moscow game as well, obviously when they were playing in the Europa League against Lyon. I watched that game online, and I'm impressed with what I'm seeing with him so far. I am hoping to watch a few more games before I do release a player analysis video on him, but this guy's looking at the type of player that really suits Sarri ball, and I think it'd be very interesting to have him, to be honest, especially over guys like, Baka, Barkley, Drinkwater, etc. I've got another super chat. Thank you, Will Rayner. I appreciate that a lot, man. Thanks a lot. You guys, don't forget, if you're a Patreon subscriber, I will be answering your questions too on Patreon, so bear with me. And your question is, Nini, I know everyone wants your verdict. Is the Italian journalist correct about the Sarri situation regarding the money we have to pay? Now, you guys, again, I got to be honest, I haven't heard anything from my source. I'm not going to lie, I think with a lot of the stuff I have been reporting on this whole Sarri situation over the months, I kind of feel that I've broken a lot of stories that have been reported on in the press later. Now, at the same time, you guys know me, I'm not arrogant. I don't get too gassed or excited. I know, it's something fun for me. It's something new, trying to get this information for you guys. Obviously, I know in the future it should get better, but right now I'm not hearing anything. And I kind of feel that if there was something really big happening, I think I would have got a text message or a phone call. So I'm not worrying too much. And one thing I will tell you guys is, how many times have there been, similar reports of, some crazy story regarding the situation that doesn't happen, and then everyone literally forgets that this journalist or that person reported it. You know what I mean? Everyone forgets about it, and then the next crazy story comes. So honestly, I wouldn't take too much consideration into it so far. I kind of feel with all the investment and time put into Sarri, that is the club's main #1 priority. They're going to conclude a deal soon, and I think both parties will get what they want. But yeah, I just think that it's one of these stories where, number one, most of the stuff I've said, really, there isn't anything new to really add on to it. And the second thing is, I'm not really hearing anything new at the moment. Like, you guys, this is why you're not seeing me release a new Sarri video every day. I mean, I could easily do what the press do, release a new video every day and just completely milk the situation. And I would earn a lot more if I did that. But I'm not trying to do that type of bullshit, you guys know. And honestly, from my personal opinion, I'm not really looking into that story too much, because something tells me tomorrow we'll hear something completely different. But thank you for that super chat, man. Means a lot. I've got a few more coming through. You guys, bear with me. Yes, Dan O'Flat. Yes, Dan. Thanks, bro. Dan, I didn't get your message, man. I'm gonna try and find a message on the chat. You guys, Jason Smith too. Thank you for the super chat. But just remember, before you send the super chat, just double check that your message is in that, so there isn't any confusion. But you guys, I'm gonna try and look for you. But Dan, obviously, bro, real talk, man. Thanks a lot for the super chat, and yeah, man, really appreciate it. Everyday Monday, Alisson is far better than Schmeichel. Yeah, I would say Alisson is. I mean, they are similar goalkeepers in terms of their style and how they like to play. But I would say that Alisson is a more complete version of that type of player. Even though I do rate Schmeichel, I think he is underrated. But Alisson is a better goalkeeper. Stealthy Ninja, please answer. Would you rather have Golovin or Loftus? For me, I like to see Ruben play. To be honest, I'm kind of old school in a way. I want to have that affinity with a player that's made it through the academy and come into the first team. I think that's something that's definitely been taken for granted a lot in modern day football. I kind of feel that Ruben can develop to have that. When I look at guys like Golovins and, who was the guy that signed for Bayern too, that left from, how did I forget their stupid names? The guy that left Schalke to join Bayern. I'm always saying his name all the time. Completely forgot. And then Milinkovic-Savic. All these midfielders are very similar, and I kind of feel that with Ruben, if he had another 100 games that these guys had, I think that he'd be a much better player for it right now. And I kind of think that, well, this guy's in the England squads. He's shown that he can reach new heights. Give him that game time. Let him play. It'll be interesting. I kind of think though that, let's say, having Golovin isn't necessarily gonna disrupt anything with Ruben. I do feel there will be particular games where maybe you're like, I want to have Golovin and Ruben with Kante in midfield. And other games, Sarri will be like, I want to have this option. And you guys, that is one thing that Sarri does all the time. Sarri rotates the midfield. It's not as if there's one set midfield that's used every single game. He does rotate a lot. I'm always saying this. I don't know why it hasn't become like the mainstream thing now, It's good for Sarri to have options. There's going to be certain games where Ruben and Golovin could play, certain games where Sarri and Golovin, you know what I mean? It's going to be like that. So I don't necessarily feel personally that Ruben would have a place lost in the team. All I'd hope is that other players do get moved on. I kind of feel if it's a situation where guys like Bakker and Barkley are still in the team, then I'd worry for Ruben that way. But yeah, if anything, it has to tell me that some of these guys will be leaving. Because with Chelsea, think about it like this: other than a few players, it's not as if we can command so much money this transfer window for players, and that's what we like to do. We like to sell a few players to generate that money for transfers, you know. And I think maybe the players that we could make money from really are Zuma and Willian. That can really command big money. Maybe Drinkwater. I don't know if the club will get the 30 million they think they can, but but yeah, I can't imagine us spending crazy without selling as well. So yeah, that's the only belief and hope I have, that there will be more midfield players being sold by Chelsea. Answering some more questions. CFC Anuj. Hazard is, thank you for that super chat, bro. Hazard is too good. Neymar to Real Madrid. Check Twitter. I can't do that when I'm on the live stream, bro. But thank you for that super chat, man. Okay. And if anything, that you know, that kind of reinforces quotes made from David Luiz. I mean, made by David Luiz. I think he was reported as saying that if Madrid win the World Cup or something, don't expect to see Neymar at Paris Saint-Germain next season. So maybe that could be a possibility. Madrid do have money. They haven't been spending much money over the past few years. It seems like this summer could be a good way for them to really re-inject something new in the team. Neymar could be that guy. Who knows? Okay, Flocky Ron. Conte is preparing pre-season. Okay, yeah. Just because he's preparing doesn't mean anything, not going to lie. Oh, shit, you guys. Jason and Dan. Thank you for those super chats, man. Jason Smith, what's your take on Tebow's performance tonight? I kind of feel that, I don't know. I think there were just two great goals by Japan. You can't do anything about them. I'm not going to criticize Courtois for any of the goals conceded. It was a perfect strike by Inui. Is that his name? Unai? I think Unai, isn't it? Yeah, who cares? Real talk, I can't pronounce nothing. But it was literally a perfect strike by him. And then that finish from Yamaguchi was another amazing finish. I don't think any keeper would have done better in those situations. And again, there was that decisive moment right at the end, and I was kind of worried for Japan in the final second, especially as they took that corner, because I kept envisioning Courtois just catching the ball and a counter-attack starting, and that counter-attack potentially being the decisive one, because I noticed that there were a lot of Japan players in the Belgium half, and I kept thinking, yo, you're literally a few seconds away from taking this extra time. You don't need to win it right now. Yes, I know we get wrapped on the emotional side of things. It's a World Cup, to win it last minute. Every nation's been doing it. I get it. But sometimes you got to play it safe. Should have been a short corner, and don't flood too many men forwards. And I just think that that was a mistake they made, especially as the corner was bad. It was delivered straight in the 6-yard box. And we know that Courtois basically has like the hand control of a basketball player. I mean, everything he catches sticks to his hand. Caught it straight away, threw it, started that counter-attack. And then when you pass it to De Bruyne in areas like that on the counter, expect something to happen. And I think that was a good performance. And I kind of think that's like an underrated part of Courtois' game. I think, for me, I think he is the best aerial goalkeeper in the world. I think that he catches everything inside his box. I think that's his best quality, to be honest. And Dan, thank you, Dan. I ran into Louis. You're in London. Oh, okay. Yeah, ran into Louis today. He's a super nice guy. Yeah, he is. Like, Louis doesn't even live too far from me. And Louis is a nice guy. You know, I can vouch for him. He is a cool guy. And we do talk on the phone every now and then. So yeah, exactly. It's nice to see that you met him. CFC Anuj, thank you, man. Can Hazard win Ballon d'Or if he wins World Cup? I kind of feel that whatever nation wins the World Cup, expect one of the players from the winning team to obviously be one of the favourites for the Ballon d'Or. I mean, if you really think about it, there isn't really any standout performer this season that's been like. When I mean standout, I'm not saying that people haven't been playing as well. I'm saying that there hasn't been contenders that have been much better than the competition. I kind of think that a lot of players have reached a very high level this season, and I kind of feel that whoever wins Ballon d'Or, the World Cup is going to affect that voting decision. But thanks for that, bro. Okay, you guys. Callum Robini, would you like our starting 11 to be in? That's too long to answer. Christian Valadez. Yep, don't worry. I'll get there soon. Nicholas. Thibaut Flat to deceive. Real Madrid have offered 310 million. Yep. Richard M. So who do you think Chelsea will realistically sign this year in your eyes? I think Sarri is one. I think Golovin, that's looking like a likely one. I think Martial could be a possibility too as well. But they're the only three ones. I think Leon Bailey, possibility there too. Might come down to money, but with anything, I'm not expecting to say anything about Leon Bailey for a while because that transfer, if it does happen, will happen right at the end of the window. So I think the 3 ones so far, I'd probably say Martial, Sarri, and Golovin. They're looking at the favourites right now. What other questions? Harry Lee, is it a matter of time or could Sarri not be coming? I just think it's a matter of time, to be honest. But at the same time, who knows? What if there's a massive, ridiculous breakdown that happens in the next few days? We don't know. I mean, this stuff changes. I mean, no one's in the meeting rooms. No one's there. So all the information all journalists are getting and my sources too are getting, the reality is it's coming from people that are close to those people. That's the reality. So you're not going to know particular things that have been said. We're just going to know the vague points of the vague things that have been spoken about, the vague things that are being discussed. We're not going to get that full, deep nuance. You know what I mean? So I'd just say that it's looking very likely with everything that's happening. Again, I think the positives are the fact that we've already agreed terms already. We've already agreed stuff with Zola as well. Signings and stuff. This is why we're making moves for players, because that's already been agreed to. It's literally just about this money thing with Napoli. And I think that Chelsea just don't want to pay that 8 million. I think that's why. I think even if they saved $1 million or two, I still think they feel that it was worth all that struggle. Because Chelsea are thinking, well, as long as we get this done, before pre-season, then it doesn't matter if we got it done in the first week or a month later, if you know what I mean. Okay, Robza, thoughts on Pedro? I can see him being decent as a backup to stretch defences. Might be worth keeping since you don't have a big transfer fee. Honestly, I think with Pedro, he needs to be sold. I thought he was awful last season. I've never really been a big fan of him, to be honest. I kind of feel too he's on very high wages as well. So there's no point keeping someone like that who isn't going to provide much. And I think that, definitely sell him, 100%. I mean, there were reports of Chinese teams looking at him. I wouldn't be surprised if it became concrete. Okay. Other questions. James Berridge, which right winger is most likely to sign for Chelsea? There isn't any standout favourite right now. You guys, as the transfer window continues and gets deeper and deeper, especially after the World Cup, expect a lot more targets to be coming out. I think so far Leon Bailey, again, you guys, if you want to get the full scoop on everything that's happening with Leon Bailey in terms of how complex it's going to be, you got to watch my video. I think I've broken down everything. And again, I knew that obviously I was right too. I sound like I'm being douchey. I'm not even trying to come across like that. But obviously a lot of Jamaican people who obviously watch my channel are from there. They know a lot of the stuff too. He doesn't have the greatest reputation, Craig Butler. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's going to be a very difficult negotiation because, number one, Emanalo's not there. And obviously, Craig is a very difficult guy to work with. So, and we know that Marina's very difficult too. So, who knows what's going to happen there. Okay, Marvin. I generally think Abramovich is the problem and we need a new owner. Imagine a Chinese or Middle Eastern team taking over. I believe it would be highly beneficial for Chelsea in the long run. I'm not too sure if it's as simple as that. I don't think money is the issue, to be honest. And at the same time, you still need to meet financial fair play. I mean, the whole point of financial fair play is so rich owners just can't pump in ridiculous amounts of money that a club would would never be able to afford otherwise. Because in a way, it kind of is like cheating in a way. You're buying these players, you're giving these wages. With how much money your club makes, there's no way in hell you could sign one of these guys. So that is the reason why there is a thing as financial fair play. But at the same time, you know, I don't know if Chelsea would be able to balance the books. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the owners. I don't think Abramovich is the issue at all. To be honest, mm, maybe from some footballing perspectives, because there has been a few times over the years where, you know, Roman has made very ridiculous decisions, like, you know, forcing signings of managers, you know, forcing Torres on Ancelotti, forcing Shevchenko or Mourinho, you know, things like not maybe signing certain players because now you want to decide to start penny pinching. I can understand your frustration from that side, but I think with everything happening right now, I don't think it's a case of it being anything to do with Roman, to be honest. So I don't think he's the right example to use right now. You guys, give me 1 second. Yes, thank you, David Tellers. Thank you, bro. Shout out from Los Angeles. Hey, thanks for that, bro. And yeah, man, really appreciate that. Really appreciate it. And Joseph25, another super chat. Thank you for that. And your question is, please tell me these Higuain Morata's rumors is bullshit. They're not even the same value. Higuain is an older Morata, no added value to the team. Now, again, at the same time, just because, let's say, this has been discussed with you know, with each club, doesn't mean it's going to be happening. Doesn't mean it's going to go through. It's just part and parcels of football. It's part and parcel of how negotiations are. Every type of possibility is spoken about and discussed. I'm not saying that it's something that's being made up and it's bullshit. I think when so many outlets report the same story too, then I think there's definitely something there. Maybe Chelsea might think, well, you know, let's say Morata, he doesn't want to stay here. We can make a lot of money for him. Or maybe let's, you know, Higuain could be someone there. Maybe, you know, I can imagine maybe Sarri even saying he wouldn't mind working with Higuain again. Let's not forget Higuain had his best season under Sarri, where he, you know, scored a ridiculous amounts of goals. But still, I agree with your sentiment. I wouldn't particularly go for Higuain, to be honest. I don't think he has too long left, and I think with the wages that he'd be on and etc. etc., he'd be another guy that'd be difficult to move on if he doesn't do well. And to be honest, I'd rather we do something completely different instead of going for these traditional style number nines every single time. You know, use Martial up front. I think using him up front kind of be like Henri in a way. You know what I mean? And I kind of think that that could be that could really elevate how Sarri likes to use his front three even more than using that traditional style number nine. So I agree with your sentiment, but at the same time, you know, I wouldn't say that the reports are bullshit. But again, Joseph, man, thank you for that super chat, man. And you guys, sorry about my voice. I do have hay fever. My nose is really blocked right now, so you know it gets like that. But you guys, don't worry. Patreon subs, I'm going to be answering your questions soon. Okay. Other questions. Jacob Cook, what do you think of Mertens and what's going on with him? He's a decent player, to be honest. I don't really think we need him. Yeah, I wouldn't look at Mertens, to be honest. I'd rather get a traditional guy on the right that can cut inside with his left foot. Okay, Nakeem Parsons, according to Matt Law, the Sarri deal is unlikely due to Golovin. Possibility that could be the case. I mean, again, I did explain earlier on during this live stream, you know, my whole thoughts and opinions on that. So, I mean, you know, I don't want to repeat it again. Sorry, man. Abdullah, will Sarri be announced before next Monday? Hopefully. I mean, you'd think before pre-season he would be announced, but I can't tell you guys anything right now because I'm not hearing anything right now. Young Nipple, you lot are, if you think Courtois is bad because of one game, yeah, I agree too. Reactionary, you know, you guys, you know, I'm always trying to like sell, you know, why not to be reactionary with everything. I don't know if you know, I don't know. I mean, Courtois had so many fantastic games that I think it's more to do with the fact that fans don't like that, you know, he wants to leave and he wants to go to Real Madrid. So I can understand the frustration there. Other questions to answer. Exit saying, okay, wait. You guys, I think I got another super chat. Thank you, unrecognized one. Appreciate that, bro. Your question is, what's going on with Sarri? With Sarri, again, we all the things we all know is that terms and stuff have been agreed. Obviously, targets and stuff have been spoken about as well. So it's not as if when Sarri signs, he's going to have completely different ideas. Number one, he doesn't even care really about who the club signs. As long as they're players, ideally, that fit his style of football, that's really all he cares about. And again, it looks like all of those things have been agreed. Stuff with Zola's been agreed as well. It just looks like with negotiations, literally, that's it. Negotiations are just long. I mean, number one, I was telling you guys that Conte, that was the club agreed to obviously pay him that, his wages for the year, and then afterwards, I was told that they changed their mind and they looked to try and find alternative routes to try and pay less for him. And in a way, I can see why Conte's been so difficult now, and it kind of summarizes how Chelsea conduct business. I kind of think sometimes, me personally, it's just my personal thoughts. I'm not a businessman, but sometimes it's like there should be some morals with how you conduct your business. Sometimes, if you're going to tell a man something, yeah, at the same time, I don't agree with Conte tactically, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to disrespect him or be rude to him, or you guys know I won't do that. I just think that if you're agreeing that you're going to give him the money, don't try and find a new way out to do it. And of course, I can confirm those reports that came out of Chelsea, obviously trying to use the Diego Costa situation against Conte, was actually real. That was actually a reality. And yes, it's kind of scumbaggy to do that. But at the same time, we have done a lot of scumbag business over the years. That's just the reality us fans just got to admit. There's that situation. I can tell you guys one thing interesting too, which I was told, but again, I couldn't really put this in a video because there isn't much to add onto it. But of course, the Conte and Real Madrid links were real at the time, and the reason as to why Conte never got the job was because of Sergio Ramos. And basically, obviously, I mean, again, you guys can probably put two and two together. When Conte sent those text messages to Costa, he was with the Spanish national team. Of course, players talk, they're friends, blah, blah, blah. Of course, Ramos says that he's a very powerful figure at Real Madrid himself. Once Madrid were looking into Conte, obviously he got the opinions of the players, some from Costa as well, stuff like that, and they knew straight away that you can't have Conte can't be our manager for next season. So if anything, it's looking really like peak for Conte in terms of what's going to be his next managerial move, if you know what I mean. So it seems like his reputation right now isn't too great in terms of the stuff people have to say about him. And again, it's the way he left terms with Juventus. We keep forgetting, this guy left them because in a way he was throwing his toys at the pram. Oh, you didn't get me Cuadrado, well, I'm leaving. You clearly don't have any big ambitions. And then when he's left, they go straight to the Champions League finals. So it's not the first time that Conte has done this, and he does have a bit of a reputation for this type of shit as well. And after a while, when you keep doing this, it does come back to get you. So that's what I can say about Conte. But again, with negotiations, I mean, I'll be honest, I can't really confirm anything just yet. I mean, there's truths to everything. There's been truths, obviously, the agreement in terms of the payment, that was between 4 to 6 million. And then, there was truths in terms of players being linked in the move as well. I kind of feel everything's been discussed. I don't know right now what is the current negotiation talk happening at the moment. I don't know. I kind of feel that once the deal does happen, everyone's going to know afterwards, if you know what I mean. So, I don't know. It does feel kind of long. I don't think there's ever been a situation like this when it's come to signing a manager. I mean, I don't know. I just don't. Personally, I kind of feel when you conduct business like this, after a while, other clubs are going to be wary of doing business with you, knowing that you long things out. Other agents and stuff won't be happy to send their clients to Chelsea knowing, I mean, I told you guys about the Martial thing. Originally, Martial's agent didn't want to move. He tried to push Martial away from Chelsea because he wasn't going to get paid high agent fees. And I kind of think that if you're going to have this reputation in football of always trying to undercut unnecessarily, it's going to come back to get you eventually. And we've been punished for it already, especially in terms of Lukaku, for example. So I don't know, but I share the same frustration. I don't understand why 8 million is such a big deal compared to everything. To be honest, I really don't. I don't know, but yeah, thank you for that super. Thank you for that question, man. Appreciate that. Okay, other questions. Richard M. I think Chelsea needs to have a clear out this summer. 100% agree, and get rid of some older players and bring in young, fresh, talented players. Yep, I agree. Okay. Lunt Banzi Nini definitely need a mods, mate. Straight up, this is annoying. Yeah, I'll look to get one. It's hard though. It's about trusting the right guy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't know. It is hard to find the right person. I think I was a bit too naive before, and I just give it to people if they ask nicely, and then it just doesn't really work out. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to put on a timer, I think. Okay. Malcolm X Marshall is lazy. Ooh. Please, please. It sounds like maybe if you're Mourinho, then yeah, I can see why you think he could be lazy. But if you're a normal football manager, I don't think you're thinking like that. But okay. But you guys, let's try not to be like too dumb in the chat. Kobe Roberts, do me Nini, I'm responsible. Okay, you guys, some questions. Let me find some football questions. Okay, one football says Roma and Chelsea. I mean, I wouldn't say one football, Nicholas. I mean, one football only get their stories from the press, to be honest. So don't expect one football to break anything. Uh, James Berridge, if we play 4-3-3, there's a chance Aspie and KO won't play. Who do you think would be captain? I don't know. The possibility could be Aspie. I wouldn't be surprised if a dark horse could be Eden Hazard. I mean, imagine you're trying to persuade him to stay. Imagine offering him the captaincy as well. I don't think it would be too crazy if Chelsea did do something like that. Lorenzo Lopez, Conte going to be selling pasta after Chelsea. Good lord. Kwame Gorin, yep. Gift MK, if Real Madrid can offer 310 million for Neymar, they can obviously offer 250 million for Hazard. I'm sure they can. But with Neymar too, let's not forget he's one of the most marketable football players in the world. So when you're Real Madrid, you're getting Neymar, you're spending that much money, it's not too deep. I mean, it's completely different if, let's say, I don't know, Tottenham are spending 300 million for Neymar. You know what I mean? But if you're Real Madrid, then it's not really 310 million, if you know what I mean. Joseph, again, thank you for that super chat, bro. How do you see Belgium versus Brazil going? Best game, good lord. I mean, that's like a final in itself. I mean, that's so crazy. Ideally, I would have loved to see these guys play in the semi-final. I think it makes them more like majestic in that sense. But this is definitely going to be a very tight game. I mean, Belgium, could they be playing more counter-attacking? I'm not too sure. I'm hoping it's going to be an end-to-end type of game where both teams are trying to go for it, trying to attack. Neymar versus Hazard, be exciting to see. Be very exciting to see. I mean, that cross Hazard put in for the equaliser, world-class. I mean, great piece of skill and a world-class ball in the books. So, I mean, it's going to be exciting. I mean, a lot of the top players have been performing in this World Cup so far. Football Laughter 4K. Yep, you share the channel. Yeah. Aaron Jones, papers are saying that Madrid want to give Asensio for Hazard. I mean, they've been saying that for a very long time. I can't see the sense in that, to be honest. I'm not too sure. Abdul Kuwanini really doesn't like Tottenham. Rich Barker, if Neymar goes to Real Madrid, he's the biggest snake in world football. I don't really think so. Why is he necessarily a snake? Now, there were rumours coming out beforehand, before Neymar signed for Paris Saint-Germain, stating that there were like special clauses in his contract that if he was to achieve a few things, that I think Madrid would be the next club. I think there was other rumours stating that the only reason why Neymar went to Paris Saint-Germain was because it would be easier for Real Madrid to sign him from PSG compared to Barcelona. I mean, imagine if Neymar left and he wanted to go to Real Madrid. I mean, that would never happen. I can't ever imagine Barcelona allowing that. No matter if Madrid offered $1 billion for his services. Neymar does have a history with Real Madrid as he was a youngster. I mean, Madrid invested a lot of years into Neymar in terms of bringing him to the Bernabeu, bringing him to training groups and camps, etc., etc. their plan was always to sign him when he was 18, but of course, he had a change of heart, signed for Barcelona instead. So again, I can't imagine those links has died away that easily and that quickly. I'm sure, his dad has been in contact with Real Madrid over the years, and if he does leave PSG for Real Madrid, then it looks like those rumours coming up beforehand were probably correct then. Ina, yes, Ina. Hi, Nini. Did you manage to check out Ruben's defensive contribution? I haven't been able to do that just yet. I have been pretty busy, but I'm hoping to get on that type of stuff. Misha, with Neymar, it's not like Figo. He was never so... Exactly. Forward thinking, trading Asensio for Hazard is like trading your childhood bae for a used condom. Hit the nail on the head. Abhishek, Nini, what you saying? Release clause wouldn't matter what Barca... Oh, of course. Obviously, the release clause Madrid could pay, but I don't think it would have been as simple as just paying it. I think that there could have been a lot of things Barcelona would have done to make it very difficult for Real Madrid to do something like that. And at the same time, I'm thinking Madrid are thinking, well, with Ronaldo getting older, of course, Ronaldo coming out saying that potentially could be his last season at Real Madrid. When you sign someone like Neymar, you got to sign him during the right moment. You can't sign Neymar when Ronaldo is potentially having his final year, because then, again, he's not going to play on the left, is he? Ronaldo, no way in hell, no matter how good Neymar is, he's not getting that position from Ronaldo. I mean, no one can say anything to Ronaldo. So, you've got to pick your moments when to do this type of stuff, Ali Al-Ali. If we were priced out of Alisson and sold Courtois, who would be next for you in terms of who we should target? Now, of course, we might not necessarily be priced out for Alisson, because the money we'd use for Courtois would just go in for another player. As I said in my video, when we sold Nathan Ake, the reason why we sold him for 20 million was because we wanted to use most of that transfer to fund the Rudiger deal, which we did. So I don't think we'll necessarily be priced out, but I mean, the second goalkeeper I'd like us to sign, honestly, it's pretty hard. I'm looking at goalkeepers that play that similar style. I'm not going to lie, I'm not really an expert when it comes to top class goalkeepers, to be honest. I don't know what keepers are out there in the market right now. I mean, I think that honestly, it's hard for me to answer it. I really couldn't give you an answer, to be honest. I've got another super chat, I think. Okay, you guys, it's loading. Shine or Mike, thank you for that super chat, man. But if you can double check, yeah, you didn't send me your questions, so sorry about that, man. And I got another super chat beforehand. I don't know. Jason Smith, apologies. His question is, no question. Keep on the good work. Support as well. Thanks a lot for that, man. Real talk, man. Thanks. Obviously, it always means a lot, you guys, and anytime, you do that type of stuff. You guys pay. The only reason why I'm doing it a bit different is because most times when I do this, I answer people's questions during the chat, and I kind of think that there's so many people that view it. I don't answer as many questions. I do want to make it a bit fair for this one. Richard, formation next season. 100% no. The Spanish, you liar. Fair enough. Nini, I heard that. Thoughts? Lewandowski, yeah. Is that? This is kind of awkward. You guys, let me try and sort this out. Now, in terms of lag, is it better or is it still kind of messed up? Is the lag really that? Is it better now, you guys? I mean, this is the risk with live streams. I mean, this type of shit just happens randomly, and you just don't really foresee it happening. Blessed man like Nini, what do you think of Ruben's comments? Do you think he will leave? I think he's putting pressure on the club. I think it's natural to put that type of pressure on. Obviously, he needs to play. I think he's proven. I mean, to make it into the England national team squad. I'm sure that Chelsea, weren't even expecting Ruben to make that type of contribution this season. So I definitely think he does have pulling power and weight. So yeah, I think he's got every right to put pressure on the club to use him, because at the same time, there's so many people at the club that are big fans of Ruben. So he's thinking it's about time people start, putting their words into actions and play me. Uh, it's fine now, you guys. Apologies. I realized it was because I was sending an email. That was why. So I've had to cancel it. I mean, that really messed up the lag. If you guys give me 1 second. Okay. You guys, I'm going to be gone in the next 15 minutes. I ain't going to be here for too long. Okay. Lewis Ratner, Lewandowski is finished as he proved at the World Cup. Yeah. I mean, he's playing for Poland, which is different, so let's not get too reactionary when it comes to that. Thoughts on Tammy for next season? I don't think Tammy is ready next season, and I kind of think at his age, I don't think it would be right for him to be a bench player when he's still trying to get game time. So I think another loan move makes a lot of sense for Tammy. Oh my god. Okay. Isaac Fleming, is Vecino a good choice or not? Again, Vecino is someone I have been speaking about in previous videos, and I don't really expect too much with that, to be honest. James Berridge, if Golovin signs, will he actually play or will he be like Barkley? I think he will play. I think especially as Roman wants him. So when Roman wants a player, he's definitely playing. Okay, Roger Hughes, do you think people will delay pre-season so we can get Sarri deal to be done? I don't know, to be honest. I don't think so. Nicholas Jacobsonini, do you think Sarri would give Morata and Bakayoko many chances around the starting lineup? I think so. I think that he could potentially do something like that. Sarri likes to work with what he has. He likes to improve. So I don't really think it'd be too crazy for him to do that, to be honest. Kwame Goring, yes, Kwame Nini. Can you give me a brief description on how Sarri and Golovin are different midfielders? Well, I'll make it very brief. Sarri is like Jorginho, and Golovin is like like a Milinkovic Savic type of guy. He breaks the lines, attacks the spaces, pushes forward, and Sarri's a guy that dictates the game. Keeps possession, manipulates the ball, that type of stuff. So they're two completely different styles of players, and this is why I don't know. Maybe Sarri can obviously adapt the system a bit, but he likes to have that type of midfield player in his team. Maybe that could give credence to Fabregas keeping his place in the team and just continuing that role for him. I think Fabregas could do really well in a Sarri system. I think that's the type of manager that Fabregas really needs. I mean, let's not forget, he is one of the best passers in the Premier League, one of the most assists in Premier League history as well. He just, if you don't use him as a box-to-box player, then of course you're going to see what he can really do. Okay. Okay, other questions. Yes, Will Rayner, thanks again, man. How did you meet your source? Also, can I be mod maybe? Yeah, Will. I'll speak to you on Twitter about that. Um, how I met my source. Honestly, when it came to this stuff, obviously, you guys they were both in the live stream. With my source, literally, I think it was just through Twitter. To be honest, I think that on Twitter, when you look at your impressions, you never. Sometimes if you look at your likes and retweets, it might not say a lot, but when you look at the impressions, I mean, you'll see like 15,000, 20,000, 30,000. The shit really gets out there. So if that's that many different people are seeing what you're doing, and I was leaving my DM boxes open, naturally it just happened from there, to be honest. And yeah, that's how I met obviously Sue. And you guys obviously know the other one. I can't even really say if he. Actually, yeah, I will say. But at the same time, I don't want to bay out his name. I think if you were to take an educated guess, he's been a regular guest on this channel, you'll probably have an idea who he is. But I'm not going to bay out his name because he doesn't want that. So yeah, and I met him through Twitter as well. So I'm telling you, social media, it is a powerful platform if you market yourself, put yourself out there, speak to people, etc., etc., etc. You know, you could meet all types of people. Um, okay. Other questions. Callum Leons, why hasn't Conte been sacked yet if we're trying to get a new manager? But again, that's because, you know, you wouldn't sack. I mean, you wouldn't sack Conte right now and then spend, you know, 6 weeks trying to sign Sarri. I mean, at the same time, I mean, again, you are right too. Why haven't we? It's how Chelsea are doing business. They're trying to find the best, the best deal for the club. I mean, that's the reality. Let's be serious. This is all about money. This is the reason as to why things are so long and things are being dragged out. It's all about Chelsea not wanting to spend this much on this and this much on that. So that's the reality right now. So again, I can't say why he hasn't been sacked yet. I mean, I've told you why he hasn't been sacked yet, because the club were trying to sack him for less, and they're trying to sign Sarri for less. And you know, when you play all your bargaining chips like that, expect shit to get long. Mm. And again, there's one thing I keep hearing from Sue all the time though, and he keeps telling me if Emanalo was still at the club, expect a lot of this stuff to have been very different. He said that Emanalo is like a master at negotiating, a master at talking. He's very popular within football as well, and he could have made a big difference. You know, again, he was the one first that told me about the friction between, ADL and Marina. So I'm not surprised by that. I mean, personally, I don't know. I kind of feel Marina should be adapting her approaches at times. I don't think everyone has to be treated the same. I think certain targets. For me, if you're trying to sign guys like Danny Drinkwater, I don't mind if you wait till the end of the transfer window to try and get him for less. But I think if you're trying to sign someone that's going to be beneficial for the team immediately, then I don't think money should necessarily always be the issue, you know? Um, yeah. Leonard, yes, Leonard. Nini, who is your favourite for the Premier League next season? I mean, the two favourites I'd say probably be, well, the three favourites would be us, Man City, and Liverpool. They're the three favourites I'm seeing right now. I think when Sarri does take over, it literally it's gonna be completely different. You expect. I'll be talking about this in videos. The only brief thing I will say is Premier League teams have been used to playing against a certain Chelsea side. This will be the first time that Chelsea have evolved. They've become something different, something new. It's going to take a long time for managers to get used to this and counter it. So yeah, it's not going to be the same old Chelsea that teams will be playing against. Otto, thank you, Otto. When will Sarri be announced? Ideally, you think it would be before pre-season does start. Ideally, you'd think it would have to be this week because again, pre-season is 7 days away. So I get that's all I can say right now. I haven't heard anything just yet, you guys. As I keep saying, there's a reason why I'm not releasing a Sarri video every single day because I'm not hearing much to it. I'm not hearing everything, and even some of the small stuff I'm hearing isn't really a story to talk about. It's just stuff that we've already heard before. So this can be. I mean, of course, I do sympathise with you guys as well. I mean, there's so many people, with Twitter accounts. Let's say certain journalists as well. They literally will report anything and everything. A lot of times they'll bend the truth. They'll release really odd information. But you got to see it like this. If it's a massive story like Sarri, it is a business. They do need to get the clicks. They need to make their money. So it's natural that they will be dragging out stuff. At the same time, it does confuse you. It will confuse you guys as to what's happening because every time, naturally when you read a story in your head, you're thinking, oh, it must be breaking. It must be something new. Sometimes, you got to look at the media with a much more cynical viewpoint. You know what I mean? Don't always get too gassed and excited by what you're reading. Try and actually read carefully the stuff you're reading. I mean, so many times I look on social media about people getting nervous or excited about this development or that development. I'll read the article and it's just like, from how the journalist has really phrased and worded every question. I mean, sorry, with how the journalist fucking hell, with how the journalist has phrased every point he's made. I mean, it just lets you know immediately whether it's something to be excited about or not. And I think too often people just look at the headlines first and then they fit the story to suit the headline. I don't know. I do think sometimes, we can do a disservice to ourselves, but it's just good to try and look past it and just, you know what I mean. But you guys, I'm going to start answering some of the Patreon questions now. And then after that, I will be ending the stream. So yeah. Patreon questions. Forward thinking. Hey Nini, loving the content as always. So keep it up. Blessings coming your way. Thanks, bro. Question: could Hazard, De Bruyne, and Neymar, Modric, and Ballon d'Or if they carry their nation to a World Cup? Yeah, I definitely think there's a possibility. I think whoever wins the World Cup will have a massive chance at determining who's going to win the Ballon d'Or. Josh Banks, yes man, you good? Is it more realistic to target Mahrez instead of Bailey, especially because he is a better player and the Bailey deal is complicated? I mean, yeah, you would like to think. We have done business. We have done business with Leicester City quite a lot, to be honest. You know, Mahrez, as you know, as I told you guys before, you know, he tried to get a move sealed on the final day. It didn't go through. I don't know. I can't see why it'd be hard to do this, especially if you're willing to spend up to 50 million on Leon Bailey. Why can't that be spent on Mahrez? You know, ideally, if I could pick a player, I would pick Mahrez out of anyone. You know, Martial, Mahrez, Hazard. To me, that's just that should be illegal, to be honest. Will Rayner, yes, Will. Thank you, bro. Nini, in your opinion, will Moses play as a right back or go back to his more traditional forward-thinking role under Sarri next season? Also, buzzing for the Patreon revamp. Thank you, man. And yeah, with Moses, that's definitely a very interesting question. I wouldn't be surprised maybe if that was used as well, but still, I think that with how Moses has been used on the right in defence, I think that he has done very well. And I think that, you know, Sarri does like to have those fullbacks that will bomb forward and get forwards. But at the same time, you know, he does like to rotate, even though people don't think he does. But remember, he'll be going to a better team with a better squad and better players. There's definitely a possibility that Moses could be an option out wide on the right-hand side, which, I don't know, I kind of feel with how Moses has been used as a fullback, I think his development has been pretty good. And I say this point all the time, you know, with Danny Rose, when he was originally, you know, when Spurs signed him from Leeds, he was a winger. You know, he started out as a winger. I think Redknapp was the guy that pushed him to left back. And he was basically saying that it took him 3 years to feel like a proper fullback, you know. He said that it's a very difficult role to play and fully understand. And you can't tell me that Moses has been getting worse. For me, when I look at him defensively, I think he's one of the best defensive fullbacks. And I think when you're a fullback, once you can defend and once you don't play people on side as well, then I think that, you know, I don't know. I think he's a very good fullback, to be honest. I think he's a very good one. But thank you, man. Elisha Howard, all right, mate. What do you think about Morata's latest announcement could mean for Martial's prospects? I mean, it wouldn't necessarily mean anything with Martial's prospects. Of course, you know, obviously, if Martial wants to leave, I mean, if Morata wants to leave, then the club will sell him then. And if they can get the money for him, they will. As I've never said that Morata dictates and determines what's going to happen with Martial. But thanks for that, bro. Christian Valadez. Part of me thinks that if Chelsea could trust in youth, Courtois would have had a chance at Chelsea before leaving for Atletico on loan, thus preventing him from meeting his wife in Spain. That is some Inception shit right there. I need to say that again. Part of me thinks that if Chelsea had trust in youth, say that again. Part of me thinks that if Chelsea had trust in a young Courtois, he would have had a chance at Chelsea before leaving for Atletico on loan, and thus preventing him from meeting his wife in Spain. Is this just a risk a parent team faces when sending their players away on loan to another country? If we gave him a chance, he wouldn't be thinking of going to Spain if he had his family in London now. Of course, there's a possibility. I mean, that is kind of mad to even think about, you know. And no, a part of me thinks that I wouldn't like if clubs were thinking about that type of possibility, you know, because I think that sometimes, you know, you got to separate your personal life from what your job is, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't like the club to have such a crazy analytical viewpoint in terms of, okay, we can't send him here or there. If he meets this girl here, there, you know what I mean? I think it'll be a bit too over the top, but it's definitely a fun thought to think about. I definitely got to say that. But again, I don't know if it's a risk. I mean, there's always a risk in everything. I mean, what if the player has an accident in a car, God forbid, or what if he gets an injury here or there? You know what I mean? There's so many different factors that can happen that could obviously, you know, risk something. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I got another question. K Max, yo, what's up, Nini? Okay, that's not a question, but thanks. Okay, sweet. You guys, I don't think I've got any more super chats. I do. One more. Thank you, Mohammed, bro. If we get Golovin, do you think we will sign Seri? Something I have been saying quite a lot. I think that's gonna. I think if both do get signed, it tells us that there's gonna be more midfield players leaving Chelsea. Um, at the same time, if Golovin was signed and Seri, I don't know. It's hard right now. I'm not hearing anything just yet about us going for one or the other right now. Um, I don't know. They're two different style of midfield players, two completely different midfield players. So they could definitely all play. But I mean, there's the reality too of Ruben being pushed out on loan again to a Champions League club. That's another reality that could happen. So I don't know. Personally, Golovin's a good player. I don't know if he's necessarily needed like that, to be honest, though, if I'm being serious. I think just using Ruben, Sari suits Sarri Ball, Kante as well. I think that's more than strong enough, if I'm being honest. But you guys, I'm going to answer one more question in the chat. D-Lord, yes, bro, what you saying? If we get Sari and Golovin, that will be the ideal midfield three. Sari, Golovin and Kante, yeah, I guess. But as I keep saying, you know, Sarri does rotate heavily in midfield a lot, so always expect to see different midfield combinations. It's not going to be like the same midfield combinations every time. So yeah. But you guys, I'm going to end everything right now. Obviously, thank you to everyone that sent me super chats and supported the channel and the stream. Thanks for watching. Expect more new videos coming out tomorrow as well. Expect the watch along for the England game and a match review for the England game as well. Thanks for watching, you guys. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.